Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today I am going to be starting chapter 3 and probably 4. Well, let's get started. Sobbing with anger and fear, I ran back through the woods. Briars scratched my legs. Mosquitoes and gnats bit me. I fell and cut my knee on a sharp stone. The woods seemed endless. Tree roots spread everywhere, bumping out the ground, tripping me. Where was the fence? Where was Aunt Alice? All I saw were trees, all around me, blocking my way, blocking my view. I must have ran in circles, circles passing the same trees again and again, breathing hard. I stood still for a moment. The woods spun in a green blur. My head felt like it was spinning with them. I staggered and grabbed hold of a tree to keep from falling. I breathed deeply and closed my eyes for a moment. When I opened them, I realized the fence was only a few feet away, almost hidden in the underbrush. Beyond it was the safety of Aunt Alice's house. I wiggled through the gap and collapsed on the grass. I was safe, but my heart still pounded. I felt like laughing hysterically, but I cried instead. A moment. Okay, when my heart slowed to normal, I stood up slowly, still feeling kind of shaky. Beyond the fence, the woods were still and peaceful. A thrush sang, and the afternoon sun slanted down through the trees. It must have been after 3, which meant my aunt was home. I ran across the yard and into the kitchen, and there was, sitting at the table reading the New Yorker, a glass of iced tea beside her. She looked up, startled, as I threw myself into her arms. "Zoe," she gasped, "what's wrong? You're covered with scratches and bug bites. Are you all right?" "Oh, Aunt Alice," I sobbed. "There was this sweet little cat. She came from next door, and I fed her. And then a big, ugly, horrible cat chased her into the woods, and I ran after her, and I held on tighter. Mr. Bree came outside and yelled at me, and she took the little cat away. I was so scared. She was really mad, and her eyes, they were, oh, I can't tell you how they were. You have to see them. It's like she looked in my brain and read my thoughts. Oh, Zoe, Zoe," and Alice hugged me, and stroked my back. "I told you not to go near her or her property. Don't be mad, please don't be mad. I just wanted to save the little cat." My aunt hugged me again. "It's all right. I'm not mad. I know how much you love cats." She handed me her iced tea. "Here, drink this. You need it more than I do." I thanked her and drank the tea in big, hiccuping gulps. "If I see that little cat again, I'll bring her inside where she'll be safe." "Mr. P won't dare come outside your house." And I was took my hair. "Oh, Zoe, you can't take her cat just because you don't like the way she treats it. But if you saw the cat, and Alice, you'd understand. She's so skinny you can feel her bones, and the other cats gang up on her. I've seen them. Let's talk about the cat later." She patted my head like I was a scared child in need of comforting. "Right now, I want you to take a deep breath and calm down. I've never seen you so upset. Right now, I want you to take a deep breath and calm down. I've never seen you so upset." With her arm around me, she led me to the bathroom and went to work on my scratches with soap and water and disinfectant. "Did you ever tell Mr. P about me?" I asked her. "Of course not. I never talked to her. Why? She knew my name. Anna was thought about that and shook her head. She must have heard me call you. Maybe she spies on us. Why would she be interested in what we say or do? I watched her tape a bandage neatly on my knee. Maybe she's crazy. Oh, Zoe, please don't throw that word around. Mr. Bree is just a strange old woman. Think how unhappy she must be. Living alone with those dreadful cats to keep her company. No wonder she wants the one you tried to rescue. She must be the only nice cat in the bunch. Ooh. And Alice put the first aid supplies away, promised to stay away from her and her cats. Later, when I had calmed down, Aunt Alice and I sat on the front of the porch side by side on the swing and rocked gently back and forth. The evening air was cool and the first stars had begun to appear. How would you like to meet me at the library tomorrow and have lunch somewhere special? And Alice asked. I snuggled closer to her. I'd love to. I might even have a surprise for you. She murmured. What? She laughed. It won't be a surprise. Hold on. Okay, it won't be a surprise if I tell you. Is it animal, vegetable, or mineral? My lips are sealed. My mouth, she smoothed my hair. You'll just have to wait until tomorrow. The next day when I left to meet Aunt Alice at the library, I saw 3 of Mr. Priest's ugliest cats sitting on the fence. Sorry, I'm yawning. As if they were waiting for me. They watched me walk past, but they didn't move. The cat called 13 was nowhere to be seen. Aunt Alice had told me to turn right on Benton Street, which took me past Miss Dupree's yard. The woods pressed up against her fence. Tree roots burrowed under the sidewalk and pushed its cement slabs up in uneven humps. Sorry about my mistakes. Okay, back to reading now. Okay. The branches hung so low I had to duck onto them. A no trespassing sign hung from a padlocked gate, and a narrow dirt path led through waist-high weeds into the woods. The only clue that a house was there was dozens of local newspapers wrapped tightly in plastic bags littering on the sidewalk. A picture of Mr. Bree watching the way her cats did, maybe plotting to get even with me for trying to steal poor 13. I've seen plenty of strange old women in Brooklyn. Maybe it was her eyes, but no, it was more than that. The old woman who sat beside me on the subway and told me about weird conspiracies and alien invasions made me uncomfortable. But I never thought they'd hurt me. That was the difference between them and Miss Dupree's. She could hurt me. I ran past her yard and didn't slow down until I was at least a block away. Except for Miss Dupree's place. It seemed like a nice neighborhood. Most of the houses were old-fashioned, like my aunt's, Victorian style, I thought. Some were bigger, some smaller, some newer, some older. Their lawns were mowed, the flower beds weeded, their bushes trimmed. Normal-sized trees shaded the sidewalk. Birds sang, a woman walking her dog. Some time, okay. A woman walking her dog smiled and said hello. Oh, I think I read that right, but not part of it. Okay, back to reading. Okay. I ran past her yard and didn't slow down until I was at least a block away. Sorry about that. Except for Mr. Priest's place, it seemed like a nice neighborhood. Most of the houses are old-fashioned like my aunt's. Victorian style, I thought. Some were bigger, some smaller, some newer, some older. I think I read that, sorry. Their lawns were mowed, their flower beds. Oh yeah, I read that. A woman walking her dog smiled and said hello. I remember I read that. Okay, sorry. I walked a few more blocks and came to the library, a small stone building with steps leading to glass doors. Very solid, very old. Inside I followed an arrow to the children's department and asked a girl shelving books where my aunt was. Miss Fitzhugs. I think I got the name right. Did I get the name? One moment. Miss Fitzhugs in the meeting room doing origami with the summer reading club. The girl looked at me and grinned. Wait, you must be Zoe. Your aunt said you were meeting her for lunch and she invited me to come too. I'm Lila. I live right across the street from your aunt and you. She stopped talking for a second and looked around. If Mrs. Walters catches me talking instead of shelving, I'll be chopped liver. Huh. She's such an old crab. Like an old hag. Okay. Pushing her book cart, Lila led me to a back corner where the shelves hid us from the librarian's desk. This is my secret place to read. I show so many good books, sometimes I just have to stop and read for a while. Your aunt caught me once. She said reading was more important than shelving. But not to let Miss Walters see me. Wait a minute. But not to let Miss Walters see me because she thinks shelving is more important. This is a good place to hide from her, I said. You even have a window so you can see what's going on in the park. As if anything ever is. Lila flicked a strand of long dark hair out of her face. This town is so boring. Not if you live next door to Miss Dupree and her cats. Lila's eyes widened. She's the most hateful person in the whole town. Seriously? Have you met her? Not on purpose. A sweet little cat came into my yard. I was making friends with her until one of the other cats chased her back into Miss Dupree's yard. I ran after her. Layla grabbed my arm. Wait, you went into her yard? She stared at me in awe. Nobody has ever done that. Not even on a Halloween dare. I wasn't even thinking about Miss Dupree. Hold on. Miss Dupree. Okay. All I wanted to do was grab that cat and take her home with me. But all of a sudden, there she was yelling at me. I'd have fainted then and there, Lila said. Dead on the ground. Cat food for sure. You can't imagine how terrified I was. She has the scariest eyes. It's like she can read your mind or something. You're totally brave, Zoe. As much as I love my dog, I didn't have the nerve to follow him onto her property. Even though I might have saved his life, which I didn't know at the time. What did she do to your dog? Rusty chased one of her cats into the woods, and she saw him. I chased her screaming at him. And then he came running out of the woods, wild-eyed because he was so scared. That night, he died a horrible death, even though he was young and healthy, and the vet couldn't find any reason for his heart to stop. I know she poisoned him. My parents aren't totally sure because whatever she did left no trace, but they suspect her. That's terrible, Lila. She's just the kind of person who'd poison a dog. A woman picked her nose around the shelves. Lila Perkins, I can hear your voice from the desk. You get busy shelving those books. Socialize on your time, not the library's time. Oh, sorry, Mrs. Walters. Lila shoved Grimm's fairy tales into an empty space on the shelf. Do you know who this girl is? The librarian glanced at me and shook her head. She's Miss Fitzhug's niece. So, Zoe, I just met her. We're all going to lunch together. Mrs. Walters gave me a very small smile. That kind you make if you're two birds. Oh, yes, of course, Zoe. Your aunt told me you're spending the summer with her. Lovely to meet you. She turned to walk away. Oh, sorry. But before she left, she looked at Lila. Be sure the cart is empty before you leave your lunch. Lila made a face at Mrs. Walters' back. I better go, I told her. I'm getting you in trouble. Your aunt's in the meeting room downstairs, she said. The program will be over soon, which is good because I'm starving. When I found the meeting room, I saw 9 or 10 kids coming out. Each one carried a handmade origami crane, and a library copy of Sadako and a thousand paper cranes. One of my favorite books in 3rd grade, even though I cried every time I read it. Guess who I just met? I said to Alice, Lila Perkins. She laughed. Lila was supposed to be the first for the surprise at lunch. I think you two will hit it off. She's a darling. I liked her right away, but I felt sorry for when Mrs. Walters caught us talking in the back of the room. She got all cranky with poor Lila. Poor Lila indeed, Alice smiled. She's always in trouble, either for talking or reading when she should be shelving. Nobody, including Edna Walters, can stay angry with her for long. She's a good worker. She puts her mind to it. Did you know Miss Dupree poisoned Lila's dog? And Alice said, the whole family's convinced the dog was poisoned, but nobody, even the vet, can prove it. What do you think? And I was struck. I really don't know. But if Rusty injured the cat, she just might at the moment. At the moment Lila joined us, and my aunt never finished the sentence. Aunt Alice took Lila and me to Nixie's Cafe, a friendly place with a shady deck. We sat outside at a table with a view of the park. Aunt Alice ordered a giant salad, and Lila and I had cheeseburgers and french fries. While we ate, I learned that Lila was 12, like me, and starting 8th grade in the fall, also like me. We were both big fans of anime. Her favorite movie was Spirited Away, and so was mine. We also love fantasy and fairy tales and mysteries. I like Sherlock Holmes, but she liked Agatha Christie. Neither one of us liked Stranger Things. We both watched old TV shows like Bewitched. We were obviously meant to be friends, which made Aunt Alice happy. Chapter 4 tomorrow. Bye, everyone. I'll read Chapter 4 tomorrow. Bye. Have a great night, evening, or whatever it is. Bye. Bye.